Hi, I'm Kathy, and I'm glad you found my channel. Um, so when I was meditating before I slept last night, I kept thinking about bringing up energy centers, and the Hindu word for them are chakras. So these energy centers we have throughout our body and a little bit beyond, above and below. Um, and what they do is they try to make sure that certain areas, wherever the energy center is, there's seven main ones. It helps your body with healing and just normal healthy functioning. But what can happen is things that surround us can affect these energy centers in a positive or a negative way. Um, and one of the things that I've experienced myself is blockages of my energy centers that, have given me a hard time functioning or creating or completing a task, or maybe, having brain fog and not being able to think clearly or concentrate on something in particular, or it gives me stomach issues. Um, so you can do your own research on that and see, if you can relate to anything that has happened to a blocked energy center. If you're having symptoms of some kind, you can do your own research, because one of the things that is going to be a constant, and I'm going to keep repeating this, is everyone is different. Everyone is on their own path, on their own journey. Everyone is experiencing things in their life, even though, people that you come across may have the same experiences, but their body reacts to it in a different way, depending on how they were raised, and just the situations they've been in throughout their life is completely different than anyone else's. Everyone is unique. So again, when I talk about things on my channel, they are things that I have experienced personally, and just know that you are your own individual on your own path, feeling your own feelings and affected by things completely different, possibly completely different than what I've experienced. So I'm going to try to make this, short. But I do want to talk about, the throat chakra, the throat energy center. This was a big blockage for me throughout most of my life. And I still have issues with it today, because, starting from the the moment that I can just really remember, in my childhood, I was, the dynamic in my family was, I was silly. I really just didn't have anything important to say. I had nothing to bring to the table. I was always kind of like, I felt I took it upon myself, later on, still a child, as being the scapegoat for the dynamics in my family. I just wanted peace. I didn't want to create the chaos with my voice, and I didn't want anybody else to fight. It was heartbreaking for me. It was traumatizing for me. And so these things that I have piled onto myself, it really affected this part of my life. And so much so that when I was an adult and decided to take the path of going to college and getting my bachelor's degree, one of my courses was a speech course. And so getting up and talking in front of absolutely anybody was terrifying for me. Like, my body shook. Like, I knew that I had to get this done. So the audience that I chose was my sister and her kids, just to sit and watch me, do this speech for them. And it, like, my whole head was shaking, my whole body was shaking. It was, having to talk was traumatizing, let alone the trauma that caused me not to be able to use my voice. So I know what it's like to have that. And also a big part of, like, I love music, right? So my whole family was into music, and our family gatherings were guitars, banjos, and family singing, and it was amazing. I love music, but to get up and sing in front of anybody was traumatizing. I was in grade school. I was supposed to be in a play, and I told them that I couldn't be in the play because my grandmother died. Because I loved the thought of getting up there and being somebody, pretending to be somebody, but I just could not get up in front of people and speak. I couldn't. I saw it a lot too in my professional career, in the corporate world, where I was sent to Europe and had to talk about financial positions and how our subsidiary was doing, and getting up in front of people, like, it made me ill. It was so hard for me, and I was shaking, always shaking. It was so traumatizing. And my European counterparts are like, Kathy, this should be easy for you. Like, English is your language. English isn't our language. And everyone had to do their presentations in English. So, I mean, they were right. There was absolutely no reason why, that the information I had to present were factual numbers and whatnot. So it's not like I had to get up and create something out of my brain. I mean, that's what it was. And then English, it's not like I had to try and say it in Chinese or German or French or anything like that. So it's debilitating. It's debilitating. And when you can't, when you're so focused on the trauma of one just having to speak, then the emotion, containing your emotions, because one, you're under so much stress that you feel like you need to say something, and then so that stress on top of the stress of, okay, I need to tell this person the truth because it's really affecting me. It's compounding. So what I hope that you will do is ground yourself and prepare for this energy center meditation, to loosen it up. So I believe that the energy centers are constantly moving, and when the energy centers are stuck, they're just not moving. Things are not flowing easily. So it's a meditation that will help get that energy center moving, so you will be able to communicate better. Okay? All right, stay tuned.